Okay, I want to talk about The Last of Us Season 2 finale. I had a lot to say about The Last of Us Season 2 before, and I'm going to sort of repeat some of my points there because I can see what direction they're going with Season 3. So I think there's going to be some spoilers at the end of this for Season 3 because I can see where they're going, and if you played the game, which I haven't, but I watched my son play it, so I kind of know the basic framework of the plot of The Last of Us Part 2, and there is no Part 3 yet for that video game series. Apparently, whoever owns the rights to this, yeah, it's probably Sony, decided like, hey, we're going to make a Last of Us series, and then we're going to do The Last of Us Season 2, but we're going to split that up into two seasons because we can. Honestly, I think there's a lot of elements in The Last of Us Season 2 The Last of Us Part 2 video game that you could split up into two parts, and I think they're kind of doing a good job of it. Now, in discussing the season finale, honestly, this is one of those shows in which the episode before the season finale, I think, is better than the actual season finale. Am I saying that you should have ended it there? No, but I think I discussed this when I talked about the season 2 premiere. But there was a moment on the show that we were all sort of expecting. And if you know anything about The Last of Us Season 1 or The Last of Us game, there is a scene in which essentially the character Ellie is discovered that she has immunity to the fungus, and they can use her to create a cure, but she will die in the process. I don't know how they know this. I think it's an interesting plot point, and then when Joel, which is Ellie's protector, hears about this, Joel goes absolutely nuts and kills all these people who are known as Fireflies. And because this takes place after sort of this fungal zombie apocalypse, and this is where it kind of gets Last of Us really tries to make it the zombie apocalypse more realistic, and it does so in such a way by creating its own science for it, a science which I actually think is horrific and believable at the same time. So the fact that Ellie has this immunity that's sort of something about that, but anyway, I forgot what I was saying there, but when we get to The Last of Us Season 2, the show, Ellie and Joel have went to Jacksonville, where they live with Joel's brother, and Ellie is sort of growing up and becoming a young woman, and they sort of essentially they live in a town they're trying to rebuild society, I guess. The show is called The Last of Us, and I'm not really certain, and that's a double meaning. Is it saying this is the absolute last generation, we know that we don't have much time left, or is it The Last of Us as in those that survive the zombie fungal apocalypse? Who knows? There seems to be kind of I feel like there is sort of a dour spirit to the whole show, but there is a hopeful spirit too. I think there is some of that. There's also a very human spirit to it. The fact that Joel did what he did shows that he cares for Ellie, but it may not be the best thing to do. So in the second to the last episode of Season 2, we actually see what we've always thought was going to happen. It was something that was revealed in, 2 episodes before the finale, where Ellie has somebody at gunpoint, and they say, "Your friend Joel, we killed him because he killed everybody." And Ellie says, "I know." And then the next episode, the episode before the finale, is a bunch of flashbacks where we see Ellie and Joel we see years in Ellie's life. We see her 16th birthday, followed by her 17th. And then there's one birthday celebration that is a sweet moment where Joel takes Ellie to this space museum, and it really shows how much Joel really cares about her. And the fact that he cares about her so much is a very beautiful thing, and I don't really think that should be discounted when watching this show or this game. It's something that I don't even think a video game really delivered as far as just really great commitment. But it's a bit, I don't know. It's sort of like there is this, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, Ellie could technically save the world if they were able to get a cure from the fungus from her. Now, I have to admit, I don't really know if, I don't know. It seems like in a lot of these situations where you have these zombie apocalypses or something like that, no one really discusses how you actually rebuild the world after it, and how, like, is the world really going to go back to what it was before? And, where everybody's got streaming services, and we're all on the internet, and we all have these jobs, and we all shop at big box stores and stuff like that. I don't know. That's a good thing. That The Last of Us doesn't really have any answers to that. I really feel like The Last of Us is more of a story of a human journey, rather than how society as a whole would respond to this kind of thing. But there are various groups. There are various religious groups that that are kind of big cults that develop from here, and there's also military factions that develop in here. And so, basically, we actually see the moment where Ellie basically confronts Joel and says, like, tell me what happened in Salt Lake City. That was the place where Joel had killed everybody to save Ellie. And that's when Joel basically breaks down and says, listen, I killed everyone there, because I wanted to save you. And it's a really hard moment to see, and honestly, I'm just kind of getting welled up just even thinking about this. And how Ellie's first response is, I should have died there. My life would have meant something, and something like that. And so, now here's what I'm going to get into. The game handles this a lot differently. And then the game, as far as The Last of Us Part 2, was really played around with its chronology. And not only that, the game allowed you to shift characters. This was a risk as far as the game went, and a lot of fans were not pleased with it. And I can understand that. I can actually see what they were trying to do with this game. Because if you know anything about the Last of Us series, there's a character named Abby that Ellie is trying to chase down. And essentially, Ellie is the daughter of one of the people that Joel killed when he was trying to save Ellie. And so Abby comes to Jacksonville to essentially exact revenge on Joel, and does it. Joel dies very early at the beginning of The Last of Us Part 2, and very early in The Last of Us Season 2. Deliberately. Now, he does come back for this flashback episode that I was talking about. I get the feeling that was kind of in Pedro Pascal's contract. So, the way Season 2 ends is that Ellie finds two friends of Abby and kills them both. But she does it accidentally. It basically just goes wrong, where she just goes, put your hands up, show me where Abby is on the map, and some guy goes for a gun. She kills one of them, but the bullet goes through the other, and that person is pregnant. And that is a hard scene to watch. And I believe that was in the game. And yeah, essentially, it's very difficult to see, because it's like, you just shot a pregnant woman. Don't you feel like a jerk? And yeah, Ellie does go through some stuff afterwards, because you can't just do that and walk away from that. So, and then it ends with Abby essentially confronting Ellie, and then there's a gunshot and it fades to black. Now, I don't like endings like that. I'm really tired of these bang and then it fades to black endings. I'm really sick of those, honestly. Then it cuts to this kind of scene where Abby is she's kind of at a military front that's built in a stadium in Seattle. I don't think the stadium actually existed in 2003, so they might be getting something wrong there. I'd have to double check on that. But yeah, essentially, yeah, I believe that Season 3 is going to be told from Abby's point of view, which was something they did in The Last of Us Part 2 game. They kept switching from Ellie to Abby. So I'm guessing Season 3 is going to be all Abby, and then they're going to just sort of meet up at the end there. Is there going to be Season 4 there? I hope not. I think you need to just tell the story you need to tell. Anyway, this is Mark Rollins from the Geek Church, signing off.